Hello, my name is Chris Landsea. I'm the branch chief of the Tropical Analysis and Forecast branch here at the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida. I'm going to discuss with you about products and mission and what we do to interact with the Coast Guard to help keep blue water mariners safe. So those are vessels that are staying well offshore. To paraphrase our mission statement here, we issue wind and wave forecasts and provide warnings so that the captain and crews can stay safe and also safeguard their cargo, whether their cargo is goods or people. So our responsibilities stem not only from the National Weather Service, but also through the International Maritime Organization. It turns out every square centimeter of global oceans, there is a country responsible for issuing free wind and wave forecasts and providing warnings, whether the warnings are tropical warnings or a wintertime gale, storm, or hurricane wind warnings. A little closer to home, it shows in green the TAFB's area of responsibilities for the East Pacific, Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and West Atlantic. Also in blue, the Ocean Prediction Center for the high latitudes of the Atlantic and East Pacific. And those fortunate enough to live in Honolulu get to do the Central Pacific forecasting. So our green areas comprise 10 million nautical square miles. So it's a big chunk of ocean that we provide forecasts and warnings for 365 days a year. Some of the tools that we use on a daily basis. So we certainly do get ships that are providing us measurements, but it turns out only about 5% of all the huge vessels going across the global oceans provide measurements to the voluntary observing ship opportunities. So we're trying to encourage more companies to join that, to provide us information. We also do have a lot of buoys, many of them maintained by the National Data Buoy Center and NOAA. And in addition to those in situ measurements, we have remote techniques. The wind barbs are from the scatterometers. So we do get these from the ASCAT A, B, and C from the European Space Agency, as the United States does not have any scatterometers currently. And we also get altimeter data, and so this gives you accurate measurements to within just a few centimeters of significant wave height. In addition to the observations, we also have the tremendous imagery available from the GOES satellites that were recently launched by NASA and maintained by NOAA, which give us unprecedented spatial and temporal coverage of what's going on, which is critical when we have tropical cyclones that typically form over the oceans in very data sparse areas. And so having the imagery in combination with whatever in situ measurements is really critical for anticipating genesis and helping to issue forecasts. So when we do make predictions of winds and waves, at the initial time we set up wind and wave grids that are a blend of in situ observations as well as model estimates of what's going on. We typically blend together for our very large area of responsibility either deterministic or ensemble averages from the ECMWF, the GFS, the UK Met Office. And then we're able to use that information to drive a wave model we run internally, which is based on the nearshore wave prediction system, which has been calibrated to better handle the very large oceanic areas. So that way we have consistent wave information, both wind waves as well as swell, that are consistent with the wind forcing that's going on. And that's critical when you're providing forecasts of winds and waves. You want to have a consistent picture that we're providing. It's also worth pointing out that when it's hurricane season, the hurricane specialists here at the National Hurricane Center will issue the 5-day forecast, and we'll incorporate that information explicitly within our wind grids, and then we can run our wave model corresponding to that. So again, it's consistency of products within the National Weather Service to make sure it's a clear picture to both mariners on the coast. Finally, a critical piece of the tools that we use are workstations. We're in the process right now of migrating from NAWIPS, the National Advanced Weather Interactive Processing System, to AWIPS 2. which is also being used by all the weather forecast offices throughout the National Weather Service. So this will build us some more efficiencies in our workflow for our forecasters, and also allow for better interaction with the local weather forecast offices and the other national centers that we work with as well. One important product that is mainly internal is the dvorak classification. So this is the human subjective determination of the location of the center and the estimated maximum winds. And it's a technique that's 50 years old, but it still works extremely well compared to automated objective techniques. So this is a critical thing that our item that our forecasters provide on every 6 hour basis. So when we make products of winds and waves, we still have to take into account that there's a wide variety of users out there, ranging from the bubblegum shrimp boat that may spend a few days well offshore in the Gulf of Mexico, versus a cruise boat when the cruise industry is active again, where everybody on board has high-speed internet. We want to make sure that regardless of the technology available, that all ships can access the forecast information and make changes to their ship route when appropriate. And so we do this in a variety of formats: text forecasts, graphical depictions that are both on the internet as well as sent out through radio fax by our Coast Guard colleagues, as well as gridded information that is available. So whatever the technology that the ship has on board, we want to make sure they can get a hold of it. It's likely that within a generation, all ships large size going across the open ocean will have high-speed redundant internet access, but not today. So we need to make sure that the forecast can reach those that need it. So I do want to show an example of where our impact-based decision support services is assisting customers, in this case, different ships over the open ocean in the Gulf of Mexico. So this is a day before Hurricane Delta started impacting the Gulf of Mexico. And the different little ship symbols are different types of vessels. So the red are oil tankers, the light blue are tugboats and other special craft, the green are cargo ships, the purple are giant personal yachts, and the blue are cruise ships. And so this is kind of typical conditions where there's hundreds of ships in the Gulf of Mexico at any one point in time. It is a couple days later, and you can see how the ships scattered. And it's great to see these mariners practicing heavy weather avoidance so that they can stay safe and safeguard their cargo as well. So we've been working very closely with our one core governmental partner, which is the United States Coast Guard. So we work with the Coast Guard districts, and in particular District 7 here in Miami, District 8 in New Orleans, District 11 in California, and even District 14 in Honolulu, where their district waters overlap our area of responsibility as well. So last year we provided 37 spot forecasts, and so that would be in response to needs that they have, whether it's searching for a person overboard, or a vessel in distress, or maybe a missing ship. Could be an aircraft that has crashed or is missing. It could be an oil spill. It could be legal issues, law enforcement that they're dealing with, where we don't know the details, but they need our help with the forecast. We also provide a dedicated Coast Guard weather webpage so that they can have information at their hands on a continuous basis for making decisions for their life-saving mission, but also to keep their personnel safe. Likewise, during hurricane season 2020, we did 88 live briefings for both District 7 and District 8 for the entire alphabet of tropical storms and hurricanes last year. And the quotes that are shown below highlight the thanks that we have gotten from the Coast Guard as we support them in their mission. So I should also point out that they have no forecasters in the Coast Guard, so they rely, based on a national level memorandum of agreement, for us to provide forecasts and briefing support toward their mission. So just to wrap up, TAFB is 18 men and women that work 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, not just hurricane season, to keep the blue water mariners safe. You can follow us on Twitter, so NHC at TAFB. There's also our phone number if folks are over the open ocean and need some weather support. Thank you very much.